So out of the gate, why do you get stomach pain at night? So a lot of times there's poor digestion in the stomach area. So usually there's some kind of a gastroparesis or slowing of that food moving from the stomach into the small intestine. And so we need good acidity, one, to help break down that food, acidify that chyme, activate proteolytic enzymes, and then hopefully trigger a release into the small intestine. And when that food releases to the small intestine, we're going to get this bile output for breaking down fat. We'll get this pancreatic output for enzymes, whether it's lipase or protease. And then we'll typically get some bicarbonate produced by the pancreas to bring up that pH where it was more acidic to more alkaline. Now, first off, if we go back to the stomach, that nice low pH also helps tighten the esophageal sphincter, if you will. That's what the little circular band of muscle that closes the esophagus down, so what's in the stomach can't move up. So good acidity is very helpful for closing down that sphincter. If we have a lot of H. pylori or bacterial imbalances, that can throw off acidity. Acidity also is antimicrobial. So if you have good acidity in the gut, it's also going to activate proteolytic enzymes, help break down proteins. It's also going to help as a natural disinfectant. That's good. And then that good pH helps tighten up that esophageal sphincter and prevent food from moving their way upward. Now, if you have slow digestion and that food starts to sit in your stomach 2-3 hours or longer, one, you can eventually have gastritis, or that gut lining starts to thin out because now that acidic food is just sitting in there for a really long time versus moving into the small intestine, getting neutralized by that bicarbonate from the pancreas. And so that food sits in there. You can predispose the gut to gastritis, that just inflamed gut tissue. And then number two is, if that esophageal sphincter opens up too, when you lay down, that food is going to be in there longer and it's going to be able to move up on you and start hitting the throat. So one of the first strategies is you can try to add in some hydrochloric acid, some enzymes, some bile support. We can get those things in the mix to help with better digestion. I'll put some links to products that I recommend down below, whether it's HCl Supreme, Enzyme Synergy, Liver Supreme, just liver, gallbladder, bile support, enzyme support, acid support. Now, sometimes if the gut's really raw, it may not be able to tolerate any acid. So if you have any history of ulcerations or lots of pain, you may want to just test it with a little bit of lemon juice or apple cider vinegar right before you eat with a tiny bit of water. See how you feel. If you can tolerate that, then you can move up to a higher dose and then eventually into hydrochloric acid support. That's painful. Just focus on enzymes and a little more bile support. That's probably better out of the gates. And then you can do natural prokinetics that help move that food from the stomach to the small intestine. So ginger, gentian, chamomile, these are all good natural prokinetics. Different bitters can be very helpful at moving that food from the stomach to the small intestine. Avoiding a bigger meal at night, even avoiding more acid at night, because if your stomach's more acid and it's in there longer and then you lay down, they can come up on you. So you can get a acid reflux wedge pillow. We'll put a link down below of just one that's 15-20 degrees that goes from your head all the way down to your hips. So you're not creating a big hump in your back when you sleep. So you have good support. That keeps it a little bit of incline and will help gravity moving it down. You can time up, make sure you're not eating a big meal within 3 hours before bed. Make it more soup, stew, liquid, smoothie. Make it really easier to digest, not a super rich big meal before bed. Get the enzymes in there. Get the enzyme synergy. Get the hydrochloric acid. Get some bile support in there. Make the meal maybe even a little bit smaller. Eat bigger before leading up to that meal, so you've already have had enough calories and nutrients throughout the day. That can be helpful.